welcome back. We're here to cover the last half of these concepts. We were up to where you have a level 100 character, which you did do that, right? I'm recommending you to stop at 100 for now, since from here we're a bit too weak and the progress can get pretty boring. So let's continue. Events. We're level 101 now. This is where you'll get to participate in events. MapleStory usually has the same set of events going on, just with a different visual theme. You can accept events through clicking on the star on the side. Here are a few things to look out for. There's the 3x or 4x coupons. These are big experience multiplier buffs that you'll be using every time you train. There's a daily check-ins. These give you resources and cosmetics. There's a point allocation system. The event can give you big bonuses for various stats. Daily map explosion things. They trigger every couple minutes or so when you train and give you a huge experience chunk and clear the map. They're also stackable with the experience coupons. And then there's the coin shop for your event currency, which expires when the event ends. You can spend them through the coin shop in the event UI tab. Chances are you're going to be starting in the middle of an event, but you don't need to FOMO too hard. The next event is probably going to be basically the same anyway. Inventory stuff. Now back to the Maple world. Our inventory has gotten pretty full, so I'm going to use the merchant to discard junk quickly. Now, your normal gameplay items are going to be more than the slots you have. So we need a secondary bag for basically each type of item that I'm about to mention. So these are familiars, recipes, minerals, and herbs, and salt. So you don't have to worry about what they exactly do for now, but just know that you can get the secondary bags from them from the merchant or sometimes from events. Hyper skills, hyper stats, and abilities. We're now level 140. Let's go over hyper skills, hyper stats, and abilities, which are all horribly named. Hyper skills are just more skills and passives, but in a different window. Hyperstats and abilities will introduce us to a new concept, which is having different settings based on your context in the game. Later on in the game, we'll find ourselves in 3 main contexts: when we want to grind, when we want to boss, and when we are in the boss loot room and want high drop rates. Unfortunately for you, you're going to have to set a whole bunch of them. But let's just focus on hyperstats and abilities for now, and for 2 contexts only: grinding and bossing. For grinding, we're going to want high drop rate and high normal monster damage. For bossing, we're going to want high boss damage. So set your hyper skills and abilities. One lazy thing you can do is check out your neighbor's stats as a general guide on how you can set yours. Your ideal ability lines are something you'll work on over a longer period of time, since they can take up a lot of points. So we can just settle for unique basic lines for now. Now it's going to get real tiring to manually switch between these, so this is where we will set presets. So presets, we can open them through our menu. Let's set 3 tabs: monsters, boss, and boss drops. Let's try and wrangle the presets so that the right preset has the right hyperstats and abilities. Doing this sucks, but at least you only have to do it once. As you progress further in the game, you can start to fill in the others. Now we make this accessible through a shortcut key. We can press F11 and assign the swap preset key. Now when you hold down that key, it will give you numbered options to swap to a preset. Death. Sometimes you will die while grinding. You need to dispel the debuff by waiting it out or using game currency to buy a charm. Go to the cash shop and amongst all the soulless money grabbing free game currency items you can get. So get the safety charm, transfer it to your inventory, and double click it in-game to dispel the debuff. 5th job advancement and sequences. Now we are level 200, and at this point the game throws a whole bunch of things at you. First, there's useless quests about the housing system. You can mostly ignore that. Second, your job advancement. This will introduce you to your new set of skills under the V matrix system. Assign all the nodes you get into your active set by double-clicking the available nodes at the bottom. The third thing is a strange mandatory little quest where you have to kill one monster in the next map over from Nameless Town. To kill this monster, we need to throw every skill we have at it, but this can be a lot of skills to have to press. Now we will learn of another big game mechanic, which is sequences. Sequences are macros that automatically execute a list of our skills. This is especially useful during bossing. We want to set our sequences so that all the skills cooldowns are synchronized. Here we will just set one sequence for all our skills that follow our 120-second cooldown only. Now we assign that to a key. Let us kill this happy odor. Enter the map and press your sequence. Hopefully without too much effort, you got to kill one. Complete the quest to equip a major stat boosting item, a symbol. Bossing. Great job on the job advancement. We're going to need to start filling out those equipment slots. The way we get strong items is through bosses. We can see which bosses have a chance to drop which item through the Maple Guide. Expand it and go to boss content to view the list of bosses and the item drops. Some of these are once a day and some are once a week. You can try starting from the bottom and working your way up, as they're sorted by difficulty. Maple Planner. The last thing we want to do is make a video game feel like a job. But here's a convenient spreadsheet checklist system that the game has. The Maple Planner on the F2 key allows you to set tasks and bosses you'd like to quickly warp to. I'd recommend setting Monster Park when you are bored enough to run them, to check your daily quests. And for bosses, let's just set Zakum, Magnus, Healer, Pink Bean, Hundeo, Arcarium for now. Maybe you don't need me to tell you this, but don't push yourself too hard in being a daily or weekly completionist. You will hate your life more than you already do. There are some missing concepts that you can take your time learning once you get to them. So that is equipment enhancement, which involves star forcing and cubing and flaming. And then there's also the horizontal progression aspect, which is link skills and legion. I hope you enjoy your time in Maple World. You are stuck here forever.